Welcome to another video about Across the Bug River by VUCA Simulations. With this video, we only want to give you a brief insight into the rules. Even though we try to cover as many aspects as possible, we cannot explain the entire rules. Studying the rules is essential for a game, but we hope our videos will make it easier to get started with the game and whet your appetite for Across the Bug River. In this video, we will look at the sequence of play and the operation cycle. The sequence of play is quickly dealt with as it only contains 3 points. The operation cycle, on the other hand, is the heart of the game and allows for an interactive game. This means that both sides are always involved in the game and have to follow up the course constantly, as they have to be able to react to the actions of the other player at any time. But let's start with the administration phase. Please note that the administration phase is skipped in turn 1 of all scenarios, and that each game starts with the operation phase. First of all, the initiative -DRM marker is placed on the 0 field. Only now can the initiative receive the value 0 during a round. Then, the headquarters, which have already used up their emergency supply and are found to be in supply, get flipped back to their front side. Please observe the supply rules. Now follows the formation activation level recovery. We start with the German side. Since the Luftwaffe had absolute air supremacy at this point in the war, it was also able to disrupt or stop the movement of Soviet troops and their supplies. To determine how successful the Luftwaffe is in this, depending on the game turn, roll the dice on the interdiction table and read off the interdiction value. For round 1, the value is given in the scenario information. With a value of 0, Fat Herman has again promised more than he could deliver, and the Soviet formations can move undisturbed. He was probably busy polishing his medals or playing with his model railway. Now it is time to recover our formations. We start with the formations of the Wehrmacht. The formation activation marker is increased by the value shown on the table. Again, please note the supply rules. Formations whose HQ is out of supply and which have already used up their emergency supply cannot perform an HQ recovery. With an efficiency of 6, for example, the marker goes up 4 spaces, but it never rises above its original value. With the Soviets, it is similar, except that here the interdiction level just determined must also be drawn in. If the German Luftwaffe was successful, not as many supplies arrived with the troops, which reduces their ability to act. You will not be able to include the exact interdiction level of the next turn in your planning, and you must weigh carefully how often you activate your formations. Now follows the auto-refit of combat units phase. Disrupted units get flipped back to their front side, provided they are in the command range of their HQ. This happens automatically. Any disrupted unit that cannot do this because it is out of command is considered isolated and must perform an attrition check. This symbolizes that units without supplies and efficient organization lose combat power. Now, dependent units can be assigned to formations or regrouped from one formation to another. They must not be disrupted and must be in command to do so. Now the Wehrmacht units receive replacements, and Soviet units can disband, and the remaining strength points are allocated to the other Red Army units. Please refer to the rules for details. The last thing to come into play into the administration phase are the new units that both sides will receive as reinforcements from turn 2. Please note here that the Soviets get significantly more reinforcements, so that the Wehrmacht player does not have much time to achieve his goals. Speed is of the essence here. So, the paperwork is done, and now we can lead our troops into the field and begin the operations phase. First, initiative gets determined. Both players roll a die, and one player possibly gets the current initiative modifier added to his result. The die roll of the Wehrmacht player also gets adjusted by the current interdiction level. The player with the highest modified roll receives the initiative and is considered the initiative player. The player with the lower total is called the reaction player. In the event of a tie, the Wehrmacht gets the initiative as it had the momentum on its side in this battle. Now the initiative DRM is adjusted. If the initiative player does not change, the marker goes up 1 space and the DRM increases by +2. If the initiative player changes, the marker with the corresponding side, Wehrmacht or Red Army, is placed on the +2 space. As already explained, the marker does not drop to 0 at this stage of the game. Thus, both sides alternate their actions in a game round, and the game remains interactive. Although the next activation remains unpredictable, the higher the modifier rises, the more likely it is that the initiative will switch to the reaction player. Furthermore, the reaction player has the possibility of the formation reaction, but more about that in another video. So, finally, something happens on the map area. The initiative player now has 3 options. Most often, he will choose Act. In doing so, he chooses a formation that he will activate next. When the activation of the formation is finished, the OPS circle starts again with the initiative determination. Or he transfers the initiative to his teammate. This is called transfer initiative. This does not adjust the initiative minus DRM. The marker remains unchanged. The reaction player cannot refuse the initiative. He now performs an act and activates a formation, or he plays a pass. Passing, called pass, is the third option a player can choose. However, he loses the possibility to activate further formations in this OPS cycle. Except for a formation reaction, he is then condemned to inactivity. This option should therefore be considered carefully, as the other player can then actually do what he wants. An OPS cycle ends when both sides have played a pass, or both sides cannot activate any further formations, which usually results in a pass. When the OPS cycle is over, we come to the end turn phase. Don't worry, this is quickly dealt with, as only the game turn marker is moved up 1 space. That should be it for this video. We hope we were able to show you briefly that Across the Bug River is an interactive game. If you want to delve deeper into the matter, the rules are available on the website VUCASims.com. If you have any questions, please contact VUCA Simulations. We can be reached via email, WhatsApp, Board Game Geek, ConSim World, and Facebook. In the next video, we will show you how to activate a formation, what possibilities it has, and what a reaction looks like.